Hello there. Carrying on from my last video about old tools, I've got quite a selection here of old electric drills. Why do you want so many? I can hear you saying that. But they're just what people have thrown out over the years. They're all freebies, apart from that one, which I paid £1 for. I have shown that one. That's a nice big Wolf drill, big one. And this Hitachi, not quite so old, but I'll come to that in a minute. Anyway, most of them are vintage things like this, the old D750 Black & Decker. Lovely old pieces of kit. That's a D500. I think this one's plugged in. They're so nice. They feel nice. They're substantial. They've got a proper chuck, not one of these horrid keyless things. They even smell right. That's probably the lacquer and all the windings. If you look in there, it just needs a commutator. There's hardly any spark there at all. And yet that's donkey's years old. Another one there. All of this sort of vintage. What's this one? That's 500 again. These are really nice old machines. The capacity of the chuck is small. Usually no more than about 3/8, but for a hand drill. Now, if you know me, you know I'm not one for harping on about health and safety, but when it comes to these old things, it is important to remember that they were designed and they were made before double insulation came into force. And consequently, all the cables must be in good condition, 3-core and a earth pin. And they must all be wired and fused correctly. And it's important that you check this. It really is important. I'll tell you for why. I'll put my meter on continuity and find the other probe. Where's it gone? There, look. Okay, so we've got a circuit through there. It's continuity. So if I've got the right one, which I think is this one, you should check, that's the earth pin, you should check that it goes through to the earth. Okay, it does. If it doesn't, don't use them. Just simply find out whether someone's put the plug on correctly and whether it's fused correctly. That is very important. And a lot of things people often overlook is if you use an extension lead, make sure the extension lead is 3-core also. I've seen a lot of people use some of these old things and the colour of the lead is that, bright orange. Well, bright orange leads are invariably 2-core, so they're not protected. But that one is double insulated, so that doesn't really matter. So that's my only comment on the health and safety bit. Okay, some of these a bit heavier. Can't read what that is. Another Black & Decker. This one is a 2-speed and it's got a much bigger chuck, as you can see. This too is a 2-speed. And what is it? I can't see for looking. 2-speed drill. No, I can't see the model number on that one. Doesn't matter anyway. This one is interesting. Yellow lead, you'll notice. It's not particularly old, but it's a Black & Decker, but it goes at nearly 3,000 RPM. That's brilliant for really tiny little drills. This is one, as I say, I paid £1. I couldn't believe it. The chuck must be worth that. It's a masonry, it's a Wolf Sapphire. £1, I can't believe it. Let's give it a whirl, let's give it a whirl. That one. Well, should have undone all this cable, shouldn't I? Can I get in there? Yes, an absolute beauty and a beast. £1. What was the man thinking of? I don't usually spend money, as you know. The Hitachi, that is one I bought. So we spent £1 on that, and I spent £2 on this one. It's a DV20V2. It's a hammer drill. It's a bit of a mess. Taking a notice of all of this, I'd put that on there. This sits permanently in my mortise drill stand, and I've aerodiked this nut on the back, so it's held in with a turn back in the stand. It's a percussion drill. I don't use the percussion bit, and it's also got variable speed, so we've got an SCR or something in there, and I've set the model. This is quite nice. Getting shot. It's nice in that this shape, you've got your hand round there, and you're pushing in line with the drill, with a drill bit, I should say. This is a drill, the thing that goes in is a drill bit. So that's rather nice. So I've covered a few of these old electric drills, so I'm never short of any. And it amazes me that they're thrown out. It's, well, because they've old hat. You know what? People have probably lost the key. Well, they've got a drawer full of keys, but if you're smart, you'll tether one to the drill in question. Okay, well, that's covered a few of the electric drills. Let's move on to something a little bit different. I'll show you what I bought many years ago. Ooh. Here we've got, well, I suppose you could call it a spanner. You can see how long it is, and it's heavy. And it's a ratchet. You can turn it over and go the other way, or you can use that. I bought this at an army surplus store. They were standing up the corner, a load of them. I think it was, you know, I'm going back years, it was 12 and 6. And for you youngers who don't know the old money, that's roughly 2/3 of £1. But it's quite a lot of money in this day. But it's beautifully made, beautifully made. It's 46mm AF. So, but look at that ratchet arrangement. And then the same on the other side. I thought that could be handy for a winch or something. But I never got round to using it. I haven't treated this or done anything to this in any shape or form. It sat in the bottom of a tin tool cupboard in an outhouse for years. There is not a hint of rust anywhere. This has been very carefully blued, which is a protection in itself, and I suspect because there's very little scuffing or scratch marks, it's actually been case hardened throughout. A heavy case. But why? Why would they go to such lengths? So, am I right in assuming? Whoops! Am I right in assuming that's some form of spanner, or is it some military thing, or some part of a machine? It's a heavy old thing. You wouldn't want many of those in your toolbox, would you? Anyway, if you've had, you've used these things, and you recognise it, and you say, oh yeah, we use them in such and such, let me know in the comments below. But I never did find a use for it, but it looked very handy at the time. I was forever buying unusual things. This particular government surplus place was selling giant nylon, well, I suppose they were army cook spoons or something, stirrers. But they were about 5 feet long, and they were 2 inches thick, machinable nylon. And the bloke wondered why I bought a few. I says, well, for the silly prices he was charging, I couldn't buy the the materials for that price. But they're all long since gone. There's not many. Well, I don't know of any army surplus nowadays. They're almost bringing them into the antique market, aren't they? Anyway, that's a long enough sort of waffle. Probably tried to cover too much in my chat about these. But I thought you'd like to see some. And I hate to admit it, but this isn't the total number I've got. Okay, that'll do for this one. Bye for now.